This is Sean from Mogador, Ohio, and this episode of Dan 3.0 is brought to you by Gamefly. Go to gamefly.com/pogobat for your free trial membership.
Hey there, Pogo Tribe, and good morning. First, a little thing you may have noticed in today's episode, we are now having you guys do the intro sponsor reads. Michael and I were talking, and we just figured that was a cool way to integrate you guys into the production of Dan 3.0 a little bit more. So if you are interested in having your voice as the intro sponsor read for some episode of Dan 3.0, we did a blog post yesterday. There's a link to that in the description. Anywho, for today's episode, I completed 2 related tasks. Revision 3 username Tati or Tathy, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but submitted a task called Buy New Shoes That Are Not Crocs. And username K Trudgeon submitted a task called Go for a Jog, where they said, time to get healthy, man, go for a run. So Michael and I were looking at those tasks and we were like, hey, we should go buy running shoes so that then I can go for a run. So I mean, that's what we did. Then we went off to get some running shoes that weren't Crocs. Although, I mean, I guess that kind of goes without saying because Crocs are very obviously not running shoes. Anyway, check it out.
I've never been on a jog before. Your seatbelt is not on and my car knows it.
I'm trying to film here.
I mean, I'm a little leery of the concept of jogging just in general. I'm not the sort of person to be like, hey, I'm just gonna go for a jog right now. Like I've never done that. As long as I stay well hydrated, I think everything will be okay-ish. Expert parking spot. Like we could have parked right there, except we've got some expert parkers parking right here.
Now, there were a bunch of different kinds of running shoes, and I don't know anything about running shoes, so I mean, I don't know, I just kind of randomly picked out a few possibilities.
We have found my shoes that are not, well, actually they are still Crocs, kind of, but these are them. We're getting these for sure. I'm gonna go jogging in these.
And then I tried them all on, and most of them felt pretty much the same. They're all pretty comfortable, so I was just like, yeah, whatever, pick these ones. So I went with these ones. So we got back from the store after buying the shoes, and it was time to put on my epic jogging outfit.
This YouTube shirt I got, I mean, I got this at VidCon, whatever. These new shoes, they're shoes that are not Crocs. I bought them. I really didn't care what I got. I just looked for something at the shoe store that would work for running shoes. Oh, I've got a headband too. This is a headband. I found it in high school. It was just like lying around on the ground in my high school, and so I picked it up and was like, whatever, Lakers. I don't care that much about basketball, but sure, yeah, I'll support the Lakers.
And then the jog began.
I'm just trying not to think of how I'm going to feel by the end of this. Because it's already more physical activity than I've done in the last, 3 months combined. This is what joggers do when they rest. I've seen them do it before. I've kind of just, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm worn out. But I'm feeling good at the same time. Delicious.
Now, I live pretty close to this lake called Holmes Lake. It's the same place that I went a week ago in last Monday's episode where I flew kites with my younger brother. And that's where we decided to jog around.
It's a giant man-made lake. You're not allowed to go swimming in it because all sorts of runoff from Nebraska farms goes into it. And so a couple years ago they found a 2-headed fish. That made national news. I think it's very pretty. It's nice. It doesn't feel like a man-made lake. It feels just like a nice little splotch of water in what is otherwise a state consisting entirely of soybeans and corn.
How do you feel about ducks?
You know, I don't feel real strongly one way or another about ducks. I don't mind them. I like them. They're wonderful creatures, just like any other. How do you feel about ducks?
Well, I was hoping I could get you to endorse ducks.
Oh, yeah, I'll endorse ducks.
Okay.
Ducks.
After the jog, my body was feeling it.
I'm feeling it in my, what do you call it, calves? What are your calves? Are these my calves?
Yep.
I'm feeling it in those. I'm also feeling it, what do you call the big ones?
Your hamstring?
Yeah, that one, hamstring. After finishing our jog, it's always important to stretch, kids. You gotta stretch. So this is one thing I actually do know how to do because I played baseball in high school. So it's like, I don't know. I guess I probably don't need to stretch my arms too much, do I? This is just kind of naturally where I start. My favorite stretch is the butterfly stretch. No, actually, I take that back. This is like my second favorite stretch. This is nice. Like, You feel it like right in here.
Right in where?
Right in here. I am the most flexible person in my family, but my family is not flexible at all.
So how do you feel about the jog?
Yeah, it was good. It was strenuous, but I feel good. You know, I got that feeling of just like, I don't know. It's hard to put into words what exactly the feeling is, but it's just like chemicals in my body are being pumped. It's like, yeah, you did well. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, does it? So yeah, that was the epic Dan 3.0 jog. And actually, in the task itself, I was reading through the comments, and a lot of the comments were like, hey, this should be something that he does regularly. And we're seriously thinking about doing that, because I mean, we invested some money in the shoes and everything. It would just be, you know, good for me, for Michael, for everyone involved. But I'm definitely not going for another jog today, because I'm still feeling yesterday's jog quite a bit. Like every time, I'm down in the basement right now, and every time I go up and down the stairs, it's just like, why, God, why? But yeah, I mean, at some point, I mean, we're gonna make this a somewhat regular-ish thing, probably. How's that for a non-committal commitment? But I mean, we will, probably, I think. I'm getting hot. I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. So ever since last week's reboot of Dan 3.0, the focus has been entirely on just getting back into the groove, and we've done nothing but the small tasks. And that's been okay. I mean, judging by the comments, you guys seem to be enjoying it, and it's really good to, you know, not have a huge amount of work to do while we're getting Michael integrated into the Dan 3.0 episode-making process. Speak of the devil, look who decided to wake up. But we're ready to start planning for and tackling some bigger tasks, starting with one submitted by Revision 3 username Ashley Dennis called Coast to Coast. The Coast to Coast task says, visit the main cities of the United States, i.e. LA, Chicago, Seattle, NYC, etc., etc. Hold a meetup in each so you can meet your Pogo tribe. So we're gonna do it, but there's some planning that needs to happen before we can do it. Instead of us picking the cities that we go to, we want you guys to pick the cities that we have to go to. And so last night I was like, how can we do that? How can we give that decision-making power over to the viewers? So I went live on Ustream for a little bit and was like, I'll let you guys help me figure out how we could do it, and you guys recommended we use the site called Eventful. So I set up a profile. You can see it at eventful.com/pogobat. Go there and demand us in your city. We will host gatherings in the most demanded cities. We've got a lot of planning to do, so we don't know exactly when it's going to be or anything, but we'll have an update for you on Wednesday. Real quick before I go, I want to give a great big thank you to today's sponsor, Gamefly. Gamefly is the world's largest online video game rental service with a selection of over 7,000 classic or new games from consoles or handhelds, any system you could imagine. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, Gamefly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they'd like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. When you're done with the game, just send it back and Gamefly will send you the next available game on your list. Or if you play a game and you're like, man, I really like this game, you can go to Gamefly's website and click Keep It, and it'll be yours for a discounted price. And if you do that, Gamefly will even send you the case and the manuals free of charge. And if you're thinking to yourself, man, Gamefly sounds really cool, except I'm not sure if I want to spend money on it right now, you don't have to spend money on it right now. You can receive a 15-day free trial as a Dan 3.0 viewer by going to gamefly.com/pogobat. Anywho, thank you all so very much for watching today's episode of Dan 3.0. Tune in again next Wednesday for another fantastic episode of Don't Be a Zombie. We took a bunch of yard signs for all the various candidates, and we kept track of whose house had which, like, candidates, and we would swap them. So, like, the houses that had the McCain signs, we would put an Obama sign in there, and the houses that had Obama signs, we put McCain.